Welcome, guys, to the Stoic podcast. Today, we're exploring 15 hidden female patterns most men never see through the lens of timeless Stoic wisdom. It's not about tricks. It's about understanding yourself and others to build true inner strength. Join us as we explore timeless philosophy to build stronger minds, calmer hearts, and unshakable character. Let's dive in.
Have you ever noticed how some people just seem to get others? Like they navigate relationships really smoothly with this quiet confidence.
Yeah, while others, even with the best intentions, seem to constantly struggle. It feels like a puzzle.
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into that very thing. We're looking at human psychology, specifically how it often shows up in women, but through a surprising lens. Ancient Stoic wisdom.
Right, and let's be really clear right from the start. This isn't about manipulation, not at all.
No, definitely not. It's about genuine understanding, connection, and, ultimately mastering yourself.
Precisely. Our source today, Stoic Wisdom, Understanding Women's Psychology, gives us this really unique angle.
So what's the plan for this deep dive?
Okay, so the goal is to pull out 15 specific psychological patterns, things often missed, maybe misunderstood, and then show how applying core Stoic ideas can genuinely transform your interactions.
It's kind of amazing how relevant those ancient guys still are, isn't it? Marcus Aurelius and the others.
It really is. Their wisdom cuts through so much modern confusion, helps build real confidence. Marcus Aurelius, he wrote, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy.
How did that apply here?
Well, we'll explore how that thinking helps us aim for understanding in relationships instead of just getting frustrated.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's unpack this. Let's dive straight into the first pattern we identified. And for you listening, think about whether these things ring true from your own experiences.
Yeah, definitely keep your own life in mind as we go.
So, first up, the approval addiction. Now, you might think, oh, that's just about compliments on looks, right?
This is the common assumption, yeah.
But the source suggests it's actually much deeper. It's about feeling genuinely heard, understood, valued for thoughts and emotions, not just appearance.
Absolutely. And the Stoic approach here, it's more than just, listening, it's cultivating real presence.
Presence, how so?
Well, when she shares something, the typical male reaction can be to jump in, try to fix it, problem solve, maybe even judge it.
Like the fix-it mode.
Exactly. Stoicism encourages you to resist that urge. Instead, just acknowledge the feeling first. Validate her experience. You don't even have to agree with her viewpoint.
Okay.
The key thing to get here is that women often process emotions externally. They talk things through.
So she's not always looking for an answer.
Often, no. She might just need an audience, a sounding board. From a Stoic view, her way of processing is it's outside your control. But your response, your calm, non-judgmental presence, that's entirely in your control. And that's where your virtue, your strength lies.
That's a really powerful shift. So it's not about matching her emotional level, but being like the steady anchor, creating a safe space for her to work through it.
You got it. Okay, let's move to the second pattern. This one trips people up sometimes. The security paradox.
Right. This is that weird tension, isn't it? Women naturally want security, stability.
Feeling safe is crucial.
But too much predictability, too much safety can actually become, boring.
Paradoxically, yes. So there's this simultaneous need for both safety and excitement, novelty.
Which sounds really confusing to manage.
It can be. The Stoic solution, though, is about being consistently reliable through your principles, being that solid foundation. But at the same time, you keep growing yourself. You maintain your own inner world, maybe a bit of mystery. Epictetus taught us, control your actions, control your responses. That's your domain.
Be like the oak tree, rooted but still growing.
Good analogy. Be the oak in the storm, deeply rooted in your values, unshakable but flexible enough to adapt and evolve. That provides the deep security she needs because you're trustworthy.
And the growth part keeps things from getting stale.
Exactly. Your own self-mastery makes you remain an interesting, evolving person.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about building your own internal strength first. Okay, next pattern. The emotional intensity need.
Right. Generally, and this is generalization, of course, women often experience emotions, let's say, more intensely than many men.
And that's not bad, just different.
Precisely. Not a weakness, just a different way of processing. But the crucial thing is that intensity needs to be understood and accepted. not shut down or minimized.
Which can happen easily if you're not expecting it.
Very easily. So the Stoic approach isn't about becoming a robot, emotionally unavailable, no. It's about staying centered in your own emotional state while giving space for hers.
So don't get swept up in it, but don't dismiss it either.
Exactly. Think of being like a mountain. It stands firm whether the weather is calm or stormy. It acknowledges the storm's presence, but isn't moved by it.
That's apatheia, right? Not apathy, but freedom from being overwhelmed by emotion.
You've got it. It allows you to be that stable, grounding presence.
That's a subtle but really important difference. Okay, pattern 4. The competition instinct. The sources say women can be really competitive, but maybe not always directly. Like, it's often indirect competition.
Yeah, often for things like attention, social standing, resources. And the tactics, well, they might not be obvious to guys.
So what's the Stoic take on that?
Basically stay above it, consciously avoid getting pulled into those, triangular dramas or comparison games.
Keep your eyes on your own path.
Exactly. Focus on your principles, your purpose. And interestingly, when you show you can't be easily manipulated by all that, you actually become more attractive and seem more trustworthy. Your inner calm is powerful.
Okay, pattern 5. This one feels really key. The testing behavior.
Oh, absolutely crucial for understanding relationship dynamics.
So the idea is women sometimes unconsciously test men. Why? And what are they testing exactly? You mentioned maintaining frame.
Right. Frame here means your inner stability, your self-respect, your commitment to your values, even under pressure.
So the tests are like pressure tests.
Sort of. And they're usually not malicious or consciously plotted. Think of them more like unconscious, maybe even evolutionary checks.
Check for what?
Strength, reliability, emotional resilience. Can he handle pressure? Can he stay true to himself?
So what does a test look like? Criticism, outbursts.
Could be. Criticism, emotional outbursts, maybe seemingly unreasonable requests, things that might make you react defensively or lose your cool.
And the Stoic response.
Not to get defensive or angry. Instead, remain calm. Stay consistent. Be unshakable in your core values. You pass the test not by fighting back, but by showing that quiet, solid strength.
Like the mountain again.
Pretty much. It also relates to premeditatio malorum, anticipating challenges so they don't throw you off balance when they happen.
Got it. That clarity on frame helps a lot. It's about inner consistency. Okay, number 6. The social proof dependency. Our sources suggest women are often heavily influenced by social proof. Like, what other people think or say really matters.
Yes, it often carries significant weight. And this isn't just superficiality, it has deep roots in evolutionary psychology. Social standing used to be directly linked to survival.
So how does Stoicism handle that? You're supposed to be indifferent to others' opinions, right?
Exactly. For yourself, you cultivate genuine indifference to external validation. You know others' opinions are indifference outside your control. But while you don't need that validation, you understand its historical and social weight for her.
So you understand it matters to her, even if it doesn't drive you.
Precisely. And this creates a dynamic where you become a source of genuine internal confidence she can draw on because you aren't easily swayed by what everyone else thinks.
That's a really interesting application.
Yeah.
Okay, pattern 7. The future security focus.
Right. Women often think about the future, the long term, maybe more extensively than men realize.
Even in casual situations.
Yeah, there's often an underlying evaluation of long-term potential happening. It's not necessarily calculating, it's more like a fundamental protective instinct.
So what's the Stoic approach? Plan everything meticulously.
Not necessarily about minute details, but about demonstrating responsible action. Show through your consistent behavior that you think ahead, you plan responsibly, you can be counted on.
So focus on what you can control.
Exactly. Your own development, managing your affairs prudently, your reliability day to day, that demonstrates a stable path forward, which addresses that security focus.
Makes total sense. Number 8, the emotional memory. This feels important for consistency.
Oh, it's critical. Women tend to remember emotional experiences, especially negative ones, much more vividly and for longer.
So one bad interaction can outweigh lots of good ones.
It really can. The emotional impact lingers.
Wow. Okay.
So the Stoic solution is simply to be highly aware of the emotional wake you leave behind. Every single interaction either builds trust or subtly chips away at it.
It requires real intentionality then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Striving to create a consistent, positive, emotional climate through your own calm and integrity.
That's something to really think about. Okay, pattern 9, the nurturing override.
Women often have strong nurturing instincts. It's usually seen as a wonderful thing.
Usually, yeah.
But the hidden side, our sources point out, is that resentment can build if that giving nature isn't genuinely appreciated or, reciprocated in some way.
So it's not just about taking.
Right. The Stoic approach isn't about keeping score, like tit for tat. It's about cultivating genuine gratitude and reciprocating from a place of integrity in your own way.
How do you mean? In your own way?
It means acknowledging her giving nature as a virtue to be valued. Your sincere appreciation is a powerful form of reciprocation. It shows respect for her character.
Okay, got it. On to number 10 in this one. This causes a lot of frustration for guys, I think. The communication complexity.
Oh, yes. The layers.
Exactly. Our sources talk about multi-layered communication. What's said, how it's said, what's not said, what she expects you to just get.
It can be baffling if you prefer everything spelled out directly.
Totally. So how does a Stoic deal with that?
Well, it requires immense patience and a really keen observation. Practice deep listening, not just hearing the words, but listening for the subtext, the nonverbals.
But not to decode her, to manipulate her.
No, absolutely not. The goal is genuine understanding, trying to grasp the full message she's conveying. That level of attention actually makes you a much more empathetic partner.
That takes real discipline. Okay, pattern 11, the perfectionism trap.
Yeah, this is a big one for many women, that intense internal pressure to be perfect, appearance, achievements, everything.
Leads to a lot of stress and anxiety, I imagine.
Definitely. It can really impact mood and behavior.
So, the Stoic angle.
It's about modeling acceptance of imperfection in yourself.
Oh, interesting. Leading by example.
Exactly. Show through your own actions that you can handle mistakes, setbacks, your own vulnerabilities with grace and self-compassion.
How does that help her?
By doing that, you create a safer space around you, a non-judgmental zone where it's okay for her to be human, to make mistakes, to not be perfect. It can take some pressure off.
That feels really compassionate, actually.
Okay.
12, the attention economics. This feels very modern, especially with social media.
It's definitely amplified now, yeah. The source describes how women often manage attention almost like a currency, giving it, receiving it, sometimes competing for it.
Attention as currency.
Understanding that dynamic helps navigate things today. So, the Stoic solution. Give attention intentionally and meaningfully.
Quality over quantity.
Precisely. When you give attention, be fully present. No distractions, phone away, focused.
And when you're not giving attention.
Crucially, be engaged in something worthwhile, pursuing your own purpose. This shows you respect your own time and priorities, which makes the attention you do give feel more valuable.
Practical advice for our hyper-distracted world. Okay, 13, the comfort zone resistance.
It might look like women often resist leaving their comfort zones.
Yeah, sometimes seems that way.
But the sources suggest this resistance can actually mask a deeper desire for growth, for adventure. They want to expand, but they need to feel safe doing it.
So they need security while stretching.
Exactly. The Stoic approach is to be that steady, reliable presence that makes exploring feel safe. You become the secure base.
The anchor again.
Yeah, the anchor she can explore from. Take some risks, grow, knowing you're steadfastly there. It's not about pushing her out of the nest.
But being the strong branch she can launch from.
Beautifully put, yes.
Okay, nearly there. Number 14, the relationship priority.
Right. For many women, relationships, romantic, family, friends, are often really central to their identity and happiness.
More so than for many men, perhaps.
Often, yes. It's just a different value system. Connection and relational harmony might take precedence over, say, individual career goals sometimes. It's not a flaw, just different priorities.
So how does a Stoic honor that?
By truly respecting that priority, not seeing it as a burden or abandoning your own purpose, but by focusing on becoming the kind of person, the kind of man whose character and integrity make you worthy of that central importance in her life. Your self-mastery lets you contribute meaningfully to that connection.
Elevating yourself to meet the importance of the relationship.
In a way, yes. And finally, number 15, the emotional contagion effect.
Ooh, what's this?
Our sources highlight that women are often more susceptible to emotional contagion, meaning they tend to absorb or mirror the emotional states of people around them.
So my mood affects her mood more strongly.
It can, yes. Your emotional state can have a much bigger impact than you might realize.
Wow. Okay, implication.
The Stoic solution is profound. Take absolute responsibility for your own emotional state.
Be the thermostat, not the thermometer.
Exactly. You set the emotional temperature through your own stability rather than just reflecting what's around you. Your consistent calm becomes a huge gift.
Okay, that's 15 patterns. Now, connecting this all back to Stoicism, this is where it gets really interesting, right?
Yeah, let's tie it together. If we look at the bigger picture, it's so important to remember.
What's that?
These are observed patterns, common dynamics, but every single person is unique. The goal is understanding. It's never about stereotypes or manipulation.
Right. Individuality is key.
Absolutely. And the core Stoic approach through all of this doesn't change. Control what you can control. That's your thoughts, your actions, your responses.
It's like what you can't.
Right. Other people's thoughts, feelings, behaviors, those are ultimately outside your direct control. And the wisdom, knowing the difference.
It's really about mastering your inner world first.
That's the foundation of it all.
And when you start to understand these patterns, it really does stop you from taking things so personally, doesn't it?
It really does. You see that a lot of what happens isn't necessarily a direct attack on you. It often comes from these fundamental, sometimes unconscious ways of operating.
So you can feel compassion instead of just frustration.
Exactly. Build bridges, not walls. You shift from just reacting emotionally to responding thoughtfully, intentionally.
That's a huge shift.
And maybe the most important takeaway from all this.
Yeah.
The ultimate goal isn't using this knowledge to get what you want from someone. It's about becoming the kind of man who naturally earns respect, admiration, real connection.
Because of who you are.
Precisely. Your character, your composure, your integrity. Stoicism teaches that character is destiny. When you cultivate those virtues, patience, wisdom, emotional stability, reliability, you become attractive on the deepest level.
It's not tricks, it's fundamental qualities.
Exactly. Qualities that make you a better human being overall, impacting all your relationships. Real strength, Stoic strength, isn't dominating others, it's mastering yourself.
That's such a critical point. It's not about being perfect either, is
That's
it?
definitely not.
It's about being conscious.
Yeah.
Aware.
Yes. Conscious of your impact. Conscious of your own habits and knee-jerk reactions. Conscious of that choice you have in every moment to respond with wisdom or just react.
And these qualities, they benefit everything. Friendships, work.
Everywhere. Being reliable, calm, understanding that helps in every area of life.
So how do people start applying this? It feels like a lot.
The Stoics were all about practical application. Philosophy wasn't just theory, it had to change how you lived. So don't get overwhelmed. Start small. Pick just one, maybe two of these patterns that really struck you today.
And just watch for them.
Just observe. Notice them in your interactions. No judgment, no immediate need to fix anything. Just awareness. That's always the first step to wisdom.
Awareness first.
And remember that Marcus Aurelius quote again. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. In relationships, maybe the best approach isn't getting frustrated by differences.
But seeking to understand them.
Exactly. Seek to understand, maybe even appreciate them. That understanding can genuinely shift relationships from being battlegrounds to being partnerships, from frustration to growth.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening?
Well, you've just gone through a pretty deep exploration.
Yeah, from maybe feeling confused about interactions to having a framework for empowered understanding using this ancient Stoic wisdom.
And again, these insights aren't about changing your core personality.
No, it's about enhancing it, becoming the most resilient, self-aware, genuinely effective version of yourself.
And I'll leave you with just this final thought. Wisdom without application. It's just interesting information, doesn't change anything.
Right, you have to use it.
So the challenge is, how can applying even one of these ideas patiently, compassionately, consistently lead to real transformation in your relationships and really in your whole life?
We really hope this deep dive helps you on that journey. Remember, progress, not perfection. Choose wisdom over just reacting. Understanding over judgment. Keep growing. You really do have the strength and wisdom inside you to apply these ideas with integrity and compassion.